What's up, YouTube? I'm Jason Spade, and welcome to Make Things to Break Things Outdoors. Merry Christmas. I got something under the tree for you. So today, we're going to be talking about the Condor Terrasaur. Now, I have already opened this, and I've carried it around for about a week, but I'm going to show you what you get in the package. So, when you get the package, obviously you get a knife and a sheath. I've put a lanyard on there already. You get a little plastic bag with the little moisture absorbing silica packet. You get a very ominous little card that says it will rust, and it will, and I'll get into that in a moment. You get a little booklet that gives you more knives to spend your money on, and you get a sticker so you can put it on your truck window or your cooler or your wife's refrigerator to make her mad, whatever floats your boat. And you get a box, obviously. So let's get into some of my gripes about getting this thing out of the package. So when I first got this, I pulled it out of the package because I've actually been kind of personally excited about this, not just for video purposes, but for me, because I've been wanting one of these for a while. I saw it, I saw the sheath, which I'm both not a fan of and a fan of at the same time. I'll get into that a little bit later too. So I pulled this thing out, and you can see where the coating's a little bit different color there. It was actually rusted over. Like it had a pretty good little hunk of rust right there. And looking at it, it didn't have any oil on the blade. There was rust around the end of the tang where it was exposed, and basically all around where the handle meets the blade. But I decided to try it out for a week or two anyway, which I've had it for a week. So yeah, just something to be aware of, that it might come a little bit rusty, but the rust came off within a day or two, and I cleaned it with WD-40, and now there's no rust on it at all, just the spot where the coating's a little bit different color. So I noticed throughout the week of carrying it at work, I haven't used this for anything too strenuous yet. But, you know, cutting boxes, cutting tape, prying on little machine parts to work for it, using it as a screwdriver, stuff that you shouldn't do with a knife. But because I had it, and because I'm reviewing it, I did it anyway. The edge retention is okay. It does 1095 things. It is a little bit chippy. And I noticed that out of the box, it's sharp. It will shave, but it's not hair popping sharp. And I noticed that it does come from the factory with a pretty good bit of burr on it. So if you do buy one of these, probably one of the first things you want to do is at least hit it on a strop. But I noticed that the BPS Adventurer that I reviewed a couple weeks ago, there's a difference between 1095 and 1066. So 1066 edge retention doesn't do as good for like cutting rope and boxes and stuff. Like it will go dull under normal use a little bit faster than the 1095. But I noticed that with the 1095 under impact, it's a little bit chippy. It chips a lot more than the 1066. I chipped it a couple of times throughout the week, and then I ended up resharpening it for this video, because you'll see later on in the video that I did a little bit of a challenge for you guys, and yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, so stay till the end of the video to see that. The handle, it fully encloses the tang material. So for the challenge that I did for the video, I found that I like this handle a lot more than I thought, because this handle is really warm. There's no metal touching your hand, your bare hands in the snow, more particularly to suck the heat out of your hand. So I was able to use this in the snow a lot longer than I would have been able to with like the BPS or a knife with an exposed tang. I noticed that right off the rip. I'm like, okay, I can do this. It does not strike a fire steel out of the box at all. Like, it will not do it at all. So throughout the week that I carried it around, I ended up spending like 3 like 3 minutes on my little portable work sharp thing and actually flatten the spine off, and with not a whole lot of work, it strikes a fire steel no problem. So for fire steel striking, I give it a 3. It will make sparks, but it won't make many. So going back to the handle, it's kind of small. Like, I got pretty big hands, so if you're not an extra large glove, it's not a problem. Like, there's enough room for me to hold it, but compared to like the BPS, I've got a lot more real estate there. So this is a pretty small knife. It's 4.2 inch blade length and it's 8.8 inches overall. On their website it advertises 8.8 to 9 inches, so maybe there's a little bit of variability in length. But other than that, I really don't have anything else to say about it. It's, from what I can tell so far, until we get into the later part of the video, it's a pretty tough knife. So we'll head to the challenge and you'll get a little bit more information there. Taking a closer look at the Condor Terrasaur, it's made in El Salvador and was designed by Joe Flowers. The blade length is 4.2 inches and the overall length is 8.8 to 9 inches. The blade steel is 1095 and the blade's construction is a full tang draw point with a Scandi grind. The handle material is a high impact polypropylene that does not expose the tang material, which we will find out does pretty good in the snow later on in the video. So for this video, I decided to do a little bit of a challenge. It is currently 11 o'clock on Sunday in Indiana. So it is like 1 degree outside. I am in a long sleeve t-shirt, a flannel, a pair of blue jeans, boots with regular socks, and no gloves. So I have instructed my girlfriend to lock me outside until she sees fire in this fire pit. And the only thing I'm allowed to use is a fire steel, fire rope, and the Condor. So, yay. I'm already cold, my fingers are already numb, so we'll see how this goes. So, she also instructed me that I had to use this peppermint bark that she made that didn't come out good, so I'll figure that out later. But until then, bust that up into some pieces. Alright, let's get started. So I'm gonna bust up some of this firewood. I don't have a baton, so I'm gonna use a limb. Oh, everything's frozen. That's cold. It's a lot of shock on my hands. That's good enough to get started with, I think. Throw that in there, keep it from getting any more wet. Bust up this piece of mulberry. Some smaller pieces. So I noticed that this handle's actually getting pretty warm as I'm holding it. I don't actually feel it sucking any heat out of my hands. I'm afraid I'm gonna get frostbite though from grabbing stuff with snow on it. Great. Get some feather sticks. Not a bad feather sticker actually. Give it a 6 out of 10 for feather sticking. Oh, my fingers are numb. You know, you could like and subscribe. That would be cool. You know, ring the little bell thing too while you're at it. That would be dope. I've ever had in my life. It's a shitty feather stick, but whatever. Oh, I can't feel my fingers. Okay. Use my teeth on the fire rope because my fingers are so cold. Now, I do want to mention that I did resharpen this knife myself, and that I sharpened the spine because it didn't strike fire steels very well at all. And there go my knees. So much harder. Get that a little bit fluffier. Maybe I can get it started. This may have been a bad idea. This is not going according to plan at all. There we go. Okay. Get some of the smaller stuff. So I noticed that my phone stopped recording for a couple seconds. It was maybe like 30 seconds to go, but I was able to get the fire burning pretty good. But yeah, that was the little bit of a challenge that I did. I am freezing to death. And I'm going snowblind from the sun. So yeah, Condor's where it's at, man. Alright, now let's see if my old lady will let me back inside. So in conclusion, man, I love this thing. I mean, it's a good feather sticker, it's a good batoner. Like, I'm not gonna say it's indestructible, but dude, it's tough as nails. The sheath, it's a plastic sheath. It's ambidextrous. I don't like it because it's a plastic sheath, but I like it because it slides inside of your pocket while it's on your belt, and literally you can put this on your belt, slide it in your pocket, and pull your t-shirt down, and nobody will ever know you have this thing. But I had fun playing in the snow with this thing. I hate that my phone stopped recording towards the end because you missed where I used the sugar from the peppermint bark to actually get the fire to spark up a little bit bigger and to keep burning. It was like, 10 or 12 minutes of that where I was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get this started or not. So I I think it took me like 30 minutes to actually get the fire going. And there was a moment there for a little bit where I was like, dude, there is no way I'm getting this fire started. And if my girlfriend wouldn't have been like, use this peppermint bark in your video, I probably wouldn't have got that fire started, period. So I hate that you missed that, but either way, that's what happens when you're making videos, especially when you're doing challenges in real time that you don't want to edit. So I'm sorry that I couldn't get the whole thing in the video. I'll try to make sure that my batteries are charged better next time. But until then, thanks for checking out Make Things to Break Things Outdoors. I'm Jason Spade, and I'll see you next time.
Babe, I got the fire going. Can I come back inside now? Please? At least the peppermint bark's really good.